All right, so this is not a movie that I thought I was gonna talk about at all. It was kind of gonna go under my radar, but then, I kind of noticed that it was like mega super popular around where I am. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna watch it because it looked interesting. I walked in like towards the end and I saw a bit of the ending. It looked interesting. I was like, fuck it, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and watch it. And to be honest, this movie's kind of good. I mean, kind of. This movie's really well. I think the movie is really good, but I'm not trying to gas it up too much because I always do that. But anyways, I think the movie's good. It's definitely not the type of story that I expected when I went into it. I don't want to go into too much spoilers, but basically the story revolves around two characters. So one of them is Beam, one of them is Rom. So Beam is kind of like a more tribal guy. He's part of a group in like the jungle. One of the girls from that group gets kidnapped by Englishmen or English royalty or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's what they were. And she gets kidnapped. So Beam, being the protector of his tribe, decides to, go save that little girl along with a few friends of his. And then on the other side, you have Rom, which is kind of hard to talk about without going into spoilers because his whole story is very spoilerific, right? Because I'll say it right now, I guess. You think the story really revolves around Beam, but high key, it just takes a hard turn into being Rom's story, actually. So that's all I'm going to say about it. Rom is a native of the country that is working for the English. We don't know why he is working for the English, but he is, and he seems very determined to climb up the ranks, and that's obvious from the very beginning. So already you kind of have that premise. They become friends, and you can kind of see where this is going. Anyways, I thought it was an interesting premise. I liked what they did with it. I didn't expect where they were going to take it. It's not groundbreaking. It's not anything that you haven't seen before, I'm sure. But I enjoyed the twist, given the context around it, the historic context around the twist. Or the twist, around the reveal of Rom's intentions, I'll say. Like I said, I can't really get too much into the story because then I'd be spoiling it. It's a very, very long movie. This is a 3-hour movie, but it doesn't feel like 3 hours. Or even if it feels like 3 hours, it does not feel like any of the scenes are unwarranted or unnecessary. And, maybe an argument could be made that some scenes could be shortened or completely omitted. I personally didn't feel that way. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. But overall, the pacing is pretty good. It's just a long story. But it's not a drawn out story. You know what I mean? Some stories are just like, they just drag on, and you find ways to make it longer. And one of those ways, actually, in a lot of these types of movies, is they add songs to the movies to kind of make them longer. But I've always felt like they kind of break up the pacing, When you add a song and like a song and dance segment, like I always felt like it broke up the momentum of the movie, right? Just to fit in a music video or just a new song that just came out. I never really felt like that was necessary, but in this movie, they only have like 3, I think, where it's like really big, like singing, dancing segments, or really just singing segments. The other ones are just like montages and stuff, and you can put music over a montage. I don't even mind. It's just when you stop the action for a dance, that's when I'm like, But even this movie, the one time that they do that, it's relevant to the story. So I'm not even mad about how they did it. I actually really, really like how they did it, and I feel like most movies, it'd be better if they did it like that because it would break the pacing just far less. And another reason why this movie just does not feel like 3 hours is because everything is so over the top. There is no boring moment at all. I can't even think of one. Although, I'm sure there's maybe one or two. I didn't see them if they were there. They don't try to get bogged down with reality. They really don't let reality impede them in any way, shape, or form. If something needs to be done that is completely impossible, but it makes for a really cool fucking shot, they'll fucking do it. They do not care. And I love that, bro. Especially the ending of this movie, the middle part, right before the interval, and the very end are like these two dudes literally turn into gods. Like they start making shit that doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even fucking matter. I don't care, bro. It literally turns into live action anime. And there's a specific scene in the middle of the movie that it's literally an anime showdown. Like it's literally just the two heroes or the two, protagonists, whatever, antagonists, just squaring off. And it's so strange to see it in live action, because I'm not used to seeing shit like that in live action done that way, because it felt so much like an anime. You know, there's a way to do a standoff in live action that doesn't feel like an anime. That shit felt like an anime, and a lot of the times it did. And I don't know, I enjoyed it. I thought it was super cool. It's super over the top. It's super fun because it's super over the top and it doesn't try to take itself too seriously. And the fight choreography in this movie is so good. It's like they try to do different things, because again, they're not bogged down by like realism. They don't try to do things that are possible or impossible, but they just do shit to do shit, bro. If you need to get thrown into a wall just for shits and giggles, you're getting thrown into a wall. If I need to throw a bike at you, you're getting a bike thrown at you. Like, it's so refreshing seeing this shit. And it's kind of weird to say it like that, but it really is. I like when shit is just over the top, you know what I mean? And this movie will not be for everyone. I will say it right now. If you do not like over the top action, don't even bother, because this is not for you, because that's most of what the movie is. But outside of the action, you know, there's a pretty cool story being told here. Ram is by far my favorite character. If you've watched any of these before, you know that I always praise the tragic characters because they are my favorite. And Ram is the most conflicted character in this movie, I would say, since he has multiple objectives that he's trying to... He has one objective, but he's going about it in a very roundabout way because it's his only option. And I love that he's willing to do everything that it takes to accomplish his goal, no matter, and you'll see in the movie, no matter how far he has to go to accomplish that goal. And I love characters that are just so focused on their objective, you know what I mean? And Beam is also like that in the movie. He's very likable to me because he's very determined, but unlike Ram, who it takes a while to actually let his feelings show, Beam is just sensitive right off the gate, bro. He's just big old teddy bear, but he's able to contain himself. You know, he's able to kind of put his emotions to the side when it comes to actually completing his objective. It's just that, you know, Ram is working towards an admittedly bigger goal, so he just has more to lose, so he has to contain himself more than Beam does. It works. The contrast between the two really works, in my opinion. And I'm not even gonna get into the villains. They didn't even try to make these people believable. Like, these are demons. These are not people. Like, there's a segment, I'd say a little bit after the middle of the movie, where the wife of the main bad guy, although I even say the wife might be contender for main bad guy, she is on demon time, bro. She's like actually thirsting for violence. It's so fucked up to see. I just thought it was funny how she was portrayed. She was portrayed as like this demonic bitch, and it was kind of fucked up. Kind of fucked up. Also, I don't know how I feel. Last thing, I don't know how I feel about the just like the random white woman romance with Beam. I don't know. I felt like it didn't do anything for me. It didn't do anything for the movie either. It just, like, she was a vehicle to get from point A to point B. That's about it, which just leaves me confused in the end. But anyways, y'all should still watch this movie. I don't got much negative to say, honestly. It's a very, very solid movie. A very fun time too, mostly.